Matthew's Message, May 2, 2014. With loving greetings from all souls at this station, this is Matthew. The brilliant light of compassion has been streaming around the world to the families whose members' lives ended in the South Korean ferry and to the families of those who are thought to have been lost at sea in the Malaysian plain. Wherever many hundreds grieve after a trauma is suddenly shared, an outpouring of compassion for them rises from all corners of earth. Thus, it may seem that your hearts are united only in times of multiple personal tragedies, and that is not so. Always you are united in your love of family and the desire for your children and all future generations to live in a better world than you inherited, and this foundation of your unity is far, far stronger than your differences, beloved sisters and brothers. That is why, in the timeless continuum, all of Earth's cultures and races are living in harmony with each other and all of nature. You are co-creating that world as you surmount challenges in this world of the moment. Let us quell concerns about Russia's aggressiveness in Ukraine. It will not lead to all-out war. Vladimir Putin doesn't want a war, and he's not all wrong by attributing the turmoil in part to interference by the United States. It's not the country's government, it's that the US is the home of the CIA, and it is the Illuminati-controlled faction of that agency that stirs the pot globally. Oh yes, their black ops still has enough viability to step in where people are dissatisfied and exacerbate the situation. However, the time for new war fronts is past. The vibrations will not support much longer war temperament and combative divisiveness. The era for negotiating conflicts has arrived, and ultimately, all serious differences within and between nations will be resolved by this means. Discussions will go in fits and starts, so please don't expect a smooth transition or prompt results, especially where fighting still rages and in the numerous circumstances where high emotions still run roughshod over reason. Talks to end decades of unrest between Israel and Palestine bog down again, not because the residents prefer discord to living together peacefully, but because the peak of the Illuminati doesn't want harmony there until the region is under their control. Those few individuals are holding on to their delusion of world domination with Jerusalem as one of their headquarters. Never could their plan have come to pass once Earth's ascension began, and eventually vibratory levels will bring to fruition a lasting peace accord. We have been asked to comment as well on several countries in Africa. Why is there still so much brutality? Is the bottom line question. Historically, the continent has been an arena for oppression and bloodshed. Along with ruthlessly killing each other, stronger tribes captured weaker and kept them in subservience or sold them to slave traders. The negativity that amassed during the centuries of slaughter and slavery and later apartheid and civil wars, has been released gradually during Earth's ascension, and lingering low vibrations in those lands leave inhabitants susceptible to upheavals. Because Mother Nature's abrupt means of uprooting and releasing entrenched negativity, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions and powerful storms, are not prevalent in Africa. A clean slate, so to say, definitely is on the way there, but it is coming more slowly than to some other areas. Along with raising your society's consciousness, the prevailing vibrations are producing other effects. Persons who endure trauma of one kind or another, perhaps prolonged combat, sexual molestation, or other physical abuse, or mental aberrations, are especially vulnerable. When those experiences lead to uncontrollable anger or overwhelming despair, the individual's minimal stability snaps and often they kill others or themselves. Persons who were trained from childhood to avenge what was done to their ancestors are feeling intensified urgency to annihilate the designated enemy, that will run its course as the will to kill ebbs around your world. The commonality in those diverse situations, past and present, is that all were and are opportunities for souls to evolve spiritually and consciously. Now, not only are former Earth residents eagerly taking advantage of the unique chance to complete third density karma in one lifetime instead of many, but souls from other civilizations also are coming in to do this. Yet, even for you who understand the purposeful karmic cycle, we know it is extremely difficult to think that way about the many millions who are choosing to live and die in painful circumstances. So please think of the many thousands of light workers, most of whom have never heard that term, who are participating in or donating money to humanitarian programs that are uplifting those lives, and feel grateful lives are their efforts. Always the light of gratitude is a worthy contribution. Numerous recent comments and questions can be summarized thusly. Several countries have hostile relations and some have nuclear weapons. How can you be certain that none will be used deliberately or accidentally to start a nuclear war? But if a nuclear war can be prevented, why can't all wars be prevented? We can say with certainty that there will be no nuclear war on Earth because Creator decreed that there will be no more such wars anywhere in the cosmos. When bodies die in ground-level or very low atmospheric explosions, souls are not damaged, the density of the bodies safeguards them. When nuclear weaponry explodes in space, as has happened in other civilizations, souls living as free spirits or in light-density forms are not protected, they have been shattered and their parts scattered throughout space. They cannot be left in that shocked condition, and retrieval and restoration are lengthy, intricate processes that start with specially trained teams searching for soul parts. Some may be floating aimlessly, oblivious to anything other than their existence. Others may have entered the bodies of benevolent souls that took in the orphans. Still others may have been captured by dark entities and held hostage. And some may be so frightened and confused that they can only tumble about. But wherever each part is, it retains the soul's unique frequency, and that is the tracking signal the search teams use as their guidance system. When a soul part is found and retrieved, it is taken to what you would call a rehabilitation center and given treatment that is customized for its condition, that is, whatever care is appropriate for its experiences during its separated state. As other parts of that soul are located, each is taken to the center and gently reintroduced to the parts being rejuvenated. After all parts have been found and nurtured, they are carefully reintegrated so that all experiencing, knowledge and memories are in proper order in accordance with the soul's file in the Akashic records. Only then can the soul be fully healed and restored to functioning, and in some cases, this has taken as long as thousands of your linear years. This immense undertaking shows how important each soul is to Creator and, in this universe, to God, and what those fractured souls endure is why Creator decreed that never again will there be another nuclear war. In keeping with that, God authorized all spiritually, consciously and technologically evolved civilizations to prevent every attempt to detonate nuclear warheads anywhere in this universe. In your world, they have done this more than a dozen times. Because a standard war, and it pains us to speak that way when some of our beloved family are being killed by others whom we also love unconditionally and their karmic merry-go-round keeps going, is initiated by someone's free will choice, God cannot intervene. He is bound to honor Creator's law that permits no exception to any soul's free will choices other than starting a nuclear war. What God is permitted to do within that law is honor Gaia's choice for a massive inpouring of light to save her planetary body and all of its life forms. Vast, powerful distant civilizations that responded instantly enabled Earth to jar loose from deep third density and start on her ascension pathway. Although this is proceeding with unprecedented swiftness, we know that in longing for all suffering and violence to end, at times your patience runs thin. You tire of hearing us say grand changes are underway. It's evidence you want, not only encouraging words. So we shall speak about progress in an area that you may not be viewing in the context of planetary and personal ascension, but it is a vital, essential aspect of a civilization's evolvement, the treatment of its animals. With joy we have seen activity on animals' behalf become widespread in your world. Animals are souls. Each is a part of Source just as you are, and they evolve just as you do. Among some species are souls of highly evolved humans who chose to embody in those forms specifically to enhance the bonding spirit between all animal life and humankind. Love is the key. Animals show you how to love without conditions or limitations. The intelligence of higher orders is very close to yours, and species-wide, the cetacean family of whales and dolphins comprises the most highly evolved souls on the planet intellectually and spiritually. The spectrum of animals' emotions and characteristics is similar to yours too, except for acquired traits like tact, deceit, bitterness, and killing for sport, and in some ways their awareness is superior. They know your thoughts, they are more energy sensitive than most people, and one or more of their basic five senses is keener than yours. They are multidimensional souls just as you are, but they consciously go back and forth between physical and spirit worlds, and they understand that there is no such thing as death. They communicate telepathically with each other, and interact with the myriad devic souls about whom most people know little or nothing, yet these precious beings are indispensable to the flourishing of all life on Earth. Let us back up a bit here. Eons ago animals lived peaceably with each other and with living peoples, and there was telepathic communication among all life forms, including the plant and devic kingdoms. The entire planet was the Garden of Eden then, and every life flourished. When strong civilizations with dark proclivities succumbed to the will of the dark forces, they downgraded the DNA of weaker civilizations, and included brutality, and they introduced the ferocity in animals that led to the predator-prey chain. As the light in people's consciousness dimmed, they started massacring each other and the animals. That is what caused the planet to spiral down into deep third density and stay stuck there for long ages. The dark forces knew that whales were serving the critical function of anchoring light in ocean depths where darkness cannot reach, and to eliminate all light on Earth. That force influenced humans to kill whales as part of the culture or commerce, and much later, caused them serious harm by sonar testing in ocean waters. But the darkness did not accomplish its objective. The whales agreed to let their light remain deep in the seas after their bodies were killed. The same dark influence was at work in the near annihilation of bison herds that roamed the plains of the land that became the United States. Individuals who came under that spell ordered the mass destruction because they knew the animals were the source of food and hides that the native population needed for survival. By contrast, the natives killed only enough bison to provide those basic requirements, and they expressed their honor and gratitude for the lives they took. Other ex-lives of the darkness influence was motivating the populace to prize items carved of ivory tusks, to think that wearing animal fur is fashionable, to stuff heads of wild animals and entire game fish and mount them on walls, to believe that some animal parts are aphrodisiacs or strengthen sexual prowess. Millions upon millions of animals in the wild or the waters were killed simply to satisfy the cravings of humankind. Never did it enter people's minds then that animals have emotions and intelligence, and many species are family-oriented. There was nary a thought that those parents love and care for their youngsters just as people do, and mourn the loss of a family member or dear friend just as people do. No, animals were simply objects to satisfy human whims. That deep third density mentality had to change so Earth could ascend, and that is why, during the 70-some years she has been on her ascension course, the light has been raising the consciousness of your society to see animals' critical importance in the balance of all life on Earth. After some voices proclaimed that animals have the right to be treated humanely and with dignity and respect, groups started forming to act upon that premise. And a few courageous individuals were inspired to live in the wild and record their observations of specific species. Those beginnings burgeoned into today's local, national, and international organizations with the mission of saving animals and their native habitats. Some are making or expanding preserves for injured and orphaned wild animals, others are operating shelters or rescue and rehabilitation programs for maltreated domesticated animals, and many people are financially supporting these groups. Outrage about inhumane conditions under which food animals live and die is forcing improvements in those areas. Zoos are creating or enlarging wildlife surroundings for their animals, and breeding programs are saving endangered species. Circuses are responding to pleas to care for their animals conscientiously and kindly. National laws prohibit the export of native animals. Part of enforcing anti-poaching laws is helping poachers find other livelihood. Laws require breeders of pets to meet higher standards. Extensive research into animal behavior, intelligence, and communication is showing their similarity to you in those respects. Increasing numbers of companion animals are being adopted. School children are being educated about the need to spay and neuter pets as well as their proper health care and nutrition. Many petitions advocating for animals' well-being are in circulation. The very act of signing a petition sends forth light streamers, and the internet abounds with films and photos showing cross-species friendship, even in the predator-prey chain, as well as some wild animals' willingness to befriend humans. You know this, so why did we speak of it? So you will think about these giant strides your society has achieved and feel grateful. Yes, a great deal more must be done, and many of you have written poignant letters asking what you can do. Of paramount importance, we urge you to stop focusing on the cruelty and negligence animals endure and feeling distraught about it. Via the universal law of attraction that's in perpetual operation, the low vibrations of those negative feelings and thoughts are helping to continue what you want to end. Sending out the high vibrations of gratitude for the innumerable endeavors on animals' behalf spreads light throughout the animal kingdom. Beloved family, there is far more goodness and light in your world than you may think, and your every loving thought, feeling and deed adds to the abundance that is transforming your world. With love, respect and honor, we salute you and accompany you every step toward the myriad glories of Earth's golden age. Love and peace. Channeled by Suzanne Ward. www.matthewbooks.com